Welcome to Springfield Icons Aldermanic Candidate Forum. Our goal for tonight is to get to know candidates for the Springfield City Council, to educate ourselves and our neighborhoods, to educate the public, and to begin to educate our future aldermen about Icon's agenda. Our ultimate goal is to elect visionary city leaders to help us in our mission to improve the quality of life for Springfield residents in inner-city older neighborhoods. Thanks to our partner organizations, Downtown Springfield, the Springfield Sustainable Design Assessment Team, and the MacArthur Boulevard Association. We're grateful for the participation of candidates in attendance tonight and for their willingness to serve on the City Council. I will introduce, actually I'm going to ask Holly to introduce candidates because I can't see the candidates from here and I haven't memorized all of them yet. So as Holly calls your name, will you stand up and wave to our audience, please?
All right, we'll start with Ward 1, that's Chuck Redhead, and Reverend T. Ray Duncans, Tyrone Case, Jamie there, Herman Senior, Billy Bishop, Scott McFarland, Dave Varner, Alderman Sam Cannon, Andrew Proctor, Dominic Watson, Michael Higgins, Alderman Joe McMillan, Sarah Patrick, Ernie Slopak, Alderman Chris Kyle, Jim Donellan, Tony Smargesi, and Phil Childs from Ward 10. Sitting in the back is unopposed Alderman Doris Turner from Ward 3 and Alderman Corey Joe from Ward 6.
Thanks, Polly. I'm going to do a brief overview of the agenda tonight because it's a little bit complicated because we have so many candidates. I will we'll proceed with a question and answer session until about 8:30. I'll introduce an issue of importance to ICON with a statement of our position and some additional information that was provided to the candidates on Friday. One of our partners or members will ask a specific question that can be answered yes or no. Candidates will be asked to vote by a show of hands, whether they are in favor of the proposal or whether they oppose. Candidates, as you vote, please keep your hands up so that our vote recorders, who are sitting in the front row, can record your votes accurately. 2 to 3 candidates will have an opportunity to speak about a question for 2 minutes each. Due to the large number of candidates and the need to keep within a reasonable time frame, we have timekeepers who will let you know when 2 minutes are up. Actually, they'll let you know when you have 30 seconds left and then when your 2 minutes are up. And at that time, we ask you to hand over the microphone so that we can keep this going and end at a reasonable hour and that everybody gets to speak. We'll be tracking who speaks and we'll call first upon candidates who haven't yet spoken. We wish we could allow each candidate to explain their position in more detail, but candidates, if you'd like to add to what you say tonight, I'd be happy to post that on your bio page on our website. So you can email those to me if you have something that you just really need to say when we're done. Around 8:30, we'll wrap it up with the Q&A with a short closing, and then we'll have an informal meet and greet until 9 p.m. At this time, I'm going to sit in the audience as the moderator, and so that I can face the candidates. The first topic that we have tonight is responsible property ownership. ICON believes good property owners, good landlords, and all of Springfield benefit when property is maintained according to city code and problem property owners are held accountable. To resolve long-term issues with problem and absentee property owners, the city needs to consistently and proactively enforce problem property laws, efficiently and legally foreclose on problem properties, and register non-owner occupied properties to provide a point of contact for complaints and legal action. Michelle?
Our first question tonight, would you support a registration program for non-owner occupied properties?
Favor, raise your hand.
Those opposed?
All right, we're ready for question number 2. Judy?
I'm Judy Ingham. I am president of the Vinegar Hill Neighborhood Association. My question, and this kind of follows up with the padlocks, would you support a change to increase the number of housing inspectors in the city from the current 4 inspectors?
All those in favor, raise your hands. Would you increase the number of inspectors? All those opposed? Next issue is a Cleaner Springfield. ICON believes that city government is responsible for the health of all residents by removing garbage and waste from all areas of the city regularly, proactively, and efficiently. All residential properties in Springfield are required to have garbage service, but we estimate that there are over 3,000 that don't. They leave their garbage for neighborhood leaders and the city to pick up. As a result, taxpayers and concerned citizens pay for picking up garbage for these garbage scofflaws. Moving payment for garbage service to monthly city water, light, and power bills ensures all residents pay their fair share and taxpayers don't end up subsidizing lawbreakers. Tony?
Yes. Thank you. Hello, my name is Tony Nudo, and I'm treasurer for the Springfield Area Landlords Association. The question is, would you support collecting garbage fees through the CWLP bill in order to ensure complete compliance within the city? Thank you.
All those in favor? Raise your hand. Opposed? Raise your hand. The next area that we'll talk about is visionary city leadership. ICON believes in proactive, efficient government, not just reacting to the same old problems. Comparable sized cities have city planning departments with multiple city and urban planners on staff, but Springfield does not have a dedicated trained resource to provide expertise and consistency needed to adequately address these challenges. As a result, surrounding cities with planners and comprehensive plans are growing faster than Springfield. Springfield growth estimated around 5%, Bloomington 27%, Champaign over 20%. Bloomington 27%, I'm sorry. Increased population growth has multiple benefits, including increased tax revenue, job growth, city pride, and a larger pool of potential employees to help support business growth. A city planner could identify strategic development initiatives, plan intentional economic development of key properties in Springfield, plan incentives to encourage development within city limits using existing infrastructure, and work with city leaders to coordinate other initiatives specific to Springfield. Lisa?
Good evening. I'm Lisa Stott. I'm the co-chair of the SDAT Action Committee, which stands for Sustainable Design Assessment Team, and we're working on downtown housing. So the question is, would you be in favor of hiring a city planner with specific expertise and training to manage a vision for planning and development in our historic capital city?
All those in favor, raise your hands. All right, I think we're unanimous. Thank you very much. Neighborhood-friendly zoning. ICON believes And we actually have 4 questions for zoning. ICON believes that consistent zoning that preserves the character and property values of residential neighborhoods. Every zoning variance or other action opens wide the door to additional changes in the character and property values of neighborhood, because in fairness, the city council can't give zoning relief to one person or property and not another. Zoning action consistent with the residential character of a neighborhood, inconsistent with the residential character of a neighborhood, damages the long-term stability and property values of neighborhoods. Brian?
Brian Johnsrud, Historic Westside Neighborhood Association. As an alderman, will you participate in training offered by the Regional Planning Commission to understand zoning and the impact of city council zoning decisions on residents of Springfield? Yes or no?
Another unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Our next question will be asked by David Farrell.
I'm David Farrell. I'm a member of the, I don't think I needed, when I was a little kid, the nuns said they could hear me a block away. I'm David. Speak direct. I'm David Farrell.
I broke it.
I'm David.
I didn't have a problem, David.
Yeah. I'm David Farrell, in case there's any doubt. I'm an active member of the MacArthur Boulevard Association. And you can see from the discussion right here on zoning why this next issue is so very important for older areas. And that is, would you support specific overlay, zoning overlays in older neighborhoods or older business commercial corridors in the city of Springfield? Instead of every suggestion of doing something with zoning to increase the entrepreneur opportunities, the opportunities for business and commerce in an area, that there's an overlay that would be over an area and it would have a number of specific circumstances, conditions, limitations, and opportunities to create business opportunities in some of our older business corridors. Would you support zoning overlays?
Request, but we're interested in hearing if you would be in favor of that kind of idea, a zoning overlay for older commercial corridors. Yes or no? All those in favor, raise your hand. Yes? Okay, another question.
Just before we vote, can you give us a good example of specifically what you're talking about?
A recommendation of the Enos Park master plan. Again, MacArthur has their own master plan and it recommended a zoning overlay as well. But if you look at MacArthur, if you look at North Grand, if you look at 9th Street, you have such a hodgepodge of zoning. 9th Street, you have everything from single-family residential R1 all the way up to B2, which is automotive, and everything else in between. MacArthur suffers from the same issues. So the concept of a zoning overlay is to create a zoning designation that would be consistent. Now again, it may not be the same for MacArthur as it is for 9th Street or it is for North Grand, but to create some consistency so that you no longer have this hodgepodge that's evolved over the years, where people have gotten variances or things have changed over the decades, and you have single-family residences, you have restaurant and retail, you have light automotive, in some cases you even have I-1 on the same corridor with a single-family house.
Everything has to change.
I am not making a specific proposal, but my understanding with zoning is that typically the existing use is grandfathered in.
At this point, we're going to call for a vote, and I'm going to ask people who are definitely in favor of this idea to raise your hands yes. Please record. And those who oppose this idea? Other comments? Scott first, and then Tyler. I'm going to give a brief intro to our next question, which is also related to zoning, and I apologize for length. The 2020 Comprehensive Plan for the City of Springfield, created in the year 2000, specifies land use by city sector and is referenced by planning and zoning when making zoning resident recommendations to the City Council. The plan was amended in 2007, but it is out of date and inconsistent with actual land use in the city. The MacArthur Boulevard and Enos Park master plans specify uses for those neighborhoods and have been approved by the City Council. Other areas, such as the Medical District, Neighborhood of Hope, and downtown, have or are considering master plans. Even when approved by the City Council, neighborhood master plans are not part of the comprehensive plan and are not used when making zoning recommendations to the City Council. Sue?
My name's Sue Massey, and I'm involved with two neighborhoods in the city, both Aristocracy Hill and the Neighborhood of Hope, which is just across the tracks to the east on the near east side of town. My question, following Carol's statement there, really addresses the same things we've been talking about, and one is master city planning, but the other part of that is the ability for neighborhoods and neighborhood residents to do planning and have some of their thoughts and their preferences respected within the city. So my question is, would you vote in favor of an updated 2020 comprehensive plan that defines land use for specific areas of the city and incorporates neighborhood master plans?
You hear that? All those in favor, raise your hands. All right, we're unanimous again. All right, our next question, question 8, will be asked by Carrie Becker.
I'm Carrie Becker, and I'm the president of the historic, excuse me, West Side Neighborhood Association. We are a large area. We cover 75 blocks, and they fall in Ward 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Small pieces, large pieces. Okay, sorry. Our question is, would you vote to uphold zoning ordinances that honor the character and integrity of residential neighborhoods and neighborhood master plans?
Didn't hear the question.
Would you vote to hold? Is this better? Yeah. Okay. Would you vote to uphold zoning ordinances that honor the character and integrity of residential neighborhoods and neighborhood master plans?
All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, we're unanimous again. Thank you. All right, our next topic is transportation planning. ICON believes Springfield should support alternative modes of transportation, providing access to all areas of the city. Moving rail traffic from 3rd Street to a newly developed 10th Street corridor is critical to the future of Springfield and essential to preserve Springfield's downtown, to ensure access east of 10th Street, and to create economic development along the 10th Street corridor. Current transportation options limit access to business areas and jobs, residences, recreation, and medical services. Bus routes have restricted availability, and downtown transfers result in longer rides. Roadways designed for fast-moving through traffic put pedestrians and bicyclists in peril and result in poor walkability and decreased residential attractiveness in urban neighborhoods. Kevin Mihalchek will ask the next question.
Thanks, Carol. First of all, I'd like to commend all of you for taking your responsibility and trying to do what is best for the community. I think it can't be a higher call, so I want to commend all of you for that. And it's great to be a part of democracy right here tonight. This is wonderful to watch and listen to all these ideas. And that's one thing I heard was a couple times is the listening factor that the Aldermanic responsibility, the thinking tales. And that is so important, because I know you all have ideas, but those ideas can blossom as democracy with listening. I appreciate hearing that. Keep that in mind. So a little lighter question than some of the zoning ones that we've been listening to is, do you support bicycle lanes and trails that connect commercial areas, jobs, residences, and recreation in all areas of the city?
Sure. Do you support bicycle lanes and trails that connect commercial areas, jobs, residences, and recreation in all parts of the city? It's from Harvard Park, by the way. He didn't say that, but. All those in favor, raise your hand. All right, unanimous again. Okay. Our next issue is maintaining our investment in infrastructure. ICON believes that infrastructure provides the essential foundation for Springfield's growth. Wise stewardship of our investment requires ongoing maintenance for the future benefit of the city, quality of life of its residents, and maintenance of property values. Springfield's crumbling infrastructure negatively affects residents, business, and economic development. In April of 2013, the Springfield City Council voted to approve a sales tax increase for infrastructure maintenance that will expire in 2016. Obviously, the streets, sewers, alleys, and lighting will still be here after 2016. Our next question is from Victoria Ringer.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. I really appreciate your involvement. My name is Victoria Ringer. I'm the Executive Director of Downtown Springfield Incorporated. Would you vote in favor of additional infrastructure improvements and maintenance beyond the current 3-year plan?
All those in favor, raise your hand. We are again unanimous. Our next issue and our last question is about neighborhood revitalization. Volunteer neighborhood leaders who are working diligently to clean up and revitalize their neighborhoods deserve the support of the City of Springfield. The current complaint-driven process in which neighborhood leaders are required to work across city departments to address various problems within their neighborhoods, often for the same property, is difficult to understand, time-consuming, and prevents efficient and proactive resolution to problems. The City of Springfield should do more to facilitate the efforts of neighborhood associations and other organizations by ensuring coordination and cooperation between city inspectors, city police, and city legal and the neighborhoods. Jen Holt will ask the next question.
Hi, I need to learn how to use this.
Here, this one's on.
Test, test.
I'm Jen Abel. I don't know how to use a microphone. And I represent Lincoln Park Neighborhood Association, which also helped to establish a newly formed foundation for Oak Ridge Cemetery. Would you support consolidated access to city resources and an increased focus on neighborhood revitalization by having city inspectors, city police, and city legal work together as part of a neighborhood revitalization department?
All those in favor, please raise your hands. All those opposed? All right. That's the end of our question and answer session. Thanks to all of our candidates for sharing their ideas and visions for Springfield. Thanks to St. John's and the Dove Center for hosting us. Thanks to ICON members, neighborhood associations, and partner organizations who are working hard to improve all of Springfield's older neighborhoods. Because one of ICON's goals is to raise awareness that our inner city has great neighborhoods in which to live, I want to mention the people who have spoken tonight: Michelle Higginbotham from Enos Park, Judy Ingham from Vinegar Hill, Kevin Mihalchek from Harvard Park, Lisa Stott from Springfield SDAT, Brian Johnsrud and Carrie Becker from Historic West Side, Victoria Ringer from Downtown Springfield, David Farrell from MacArthur Boulevard, Tony Nudo from the Landlords Association, Jen Ahold from Lincoln Park, and I want to thank the ICON members who worked so hard to put this on tonight. Steve Combs, our Vice President, Polly Poskin from our steering committee, Sharon and Daryl Riffey. Daryl's on our steering committee, and Sharon heads up our City Council Watch, and she's at the City Council. They're at the City Council every single week. Marty Vandiver is our secretary. He's our greeter tonight. Dee Stevens, Susie Weisberg, Kathy Twyman, and our parliamentarian is Karen Jacobs. Thanks to all of you for helping tonight. Finally, I want to say that you don't have to move to live in a better neighborhood. We're asking you for 6 votes on the City Council to make a difference in the city of Springfield.